2-1, rational numbers.
I can write rational numbers in equivalent forms.
And who are our guest speakers today? Introduce yourself.
Blake Neske or Mr. Neske?
Hannah Berg or Miss Berg.
Yeah, and they're from UND. They're our UND guest student teachers today, so that's pretty cool. All right, so vocab. Rational number. Very important that we understand rational numbers. Terminate or repeat. Someone raise your hand and give me an example of a number that is not rational. A number that is not rational. Akshaya.
Pi.
Pi. Pi is not rational. And then you obviously can write them as n over d, where n is the numerator, d is the denominator, as long as d is not equal to 0. Relatively prime, you struggled with that word too. Remember we took these notes on, I think, Mondays when we started them. Numbers that have no common factors other than 1, and then really they're just reduced fractions, yes? No?
Yeah.
Relatively prime numbers or reduced fractions. Rational or not, so here's your example of rational numbers and non-rational numbers. The reason we said this was not rational was why? How could we determine that that was not a rational number? Why is that, Gian, not a rational number?
Because it goes on forever.
How do you know it goes on forever?
Dot,
The dot, 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 and do we see any repeating?
No.
We see no repeating, therefore we're assuming, at least for what we know, it's not a rational number. So rational numbers, again, super important, either repeat or terminate. The most popular example of a non-rational number, or an irrational, which we haven't talked about yet, but it's called an irrational, would be pi. Cheat sheet idea? Would that be helpful on the test?
Yeah.
All fractions are rational numbers?
Yeah.
Awesome. Fraction types, we have mixed numbers and improper fractions. Pop quiz for you, as a class on the count of 3. When you are working with fractions and solving and showing your work, so working with fractions, solving, showing your work, what type of mixed number or improper fraction are you using when you're showing your work? Which one are you using? 7 or 8 on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
Improper fraction.
Okay, and then when you express your answer, all answers must be expressed as 1, 2, 3.
Mixed numbers.
Mixed numbers, and this is our cheat sheet idea based on what I think, Nathan, I think you gave us that one, right? Cool, cool, cool. And then we just have examples of what a mixed number looks like, which should be review. And number 8, the example of an improper fraction. And then our practice, to go from a fraction to a decimal, we divide numerator divided by numerator divided by denominator. And then for round, or for a decimal to a fraction, we simply do what? Simply do what?
Read it.
Read it, read it, read it, read it. Anything to add? Any questions?